Is also reporting more than 21,000 outages in Northern Virginia. Meanwhile, Pepco says 10,000 of its customers are also in the dark. Most are in Silver Spring and in Bethesda.
Now, you might have seen lightning brighten the skies briefly yesterday. One of those strikes may have sparked a fire. Look at this. Ugh. This is what's left now of that pickup truck in Bethesda, and that's where our Jackie Benson begins this morning's team coverage.
Lightning hit a tree. Tree fell across the street, hit a couple other cars, took down some power lines.
Kevin Vigneault was bringing his daughter and her friends home from a swim team practice that had been canceled due to weather. On Mohican Road, not far from home, things got scary very quickly. With his car trapped by fallen trees, he had to get the girls to safety.
We ran into the house where there was a construction crew. As we were in the house, the truck lit up on fire, and maybe 10 minutes later, it was like, kind of fully engulfed in flames.
Thankfully, despite the damage, no one was injured. A mile or so directly east on Lambeth Road, Barbara Varangas was watching the storm from a window when she saw these huge trees snap and topple.
And as I was standing there, I caught motion to my left, and I turned around just in time to see the tree coming down. Didn't actually, usually there's a big thud and everything shakes, but all I heard was crunch when it hit the cars.
On Marengo Road, not far from River Road, an enormous tree fell across the front of Mark Allen's home.
My wife was in the kitchen tidying things up, and suddenly the place was dark because this tree had fallen right across the window.
Thankfully, the sturdy brick home took only a glancing blow.
Luckily, it didn't do too much damage to the house, and it's blocked all the entrances, so we have to go. We can just squeeze around the back into the garden.
That was Jackie Benson reporting. People in D.C. are also cleaning up after plenty of trees fell on streets, sidewalks, and even more homes.
Take a look at this. The tree that fell onto a historic house in Georgetown. The home is on 28th Street in Northwest. If you look closely, you can see the roots also tore up part of the sidewalk.
As News Force Walter Morris reports from Chevy Chase, this is just one of many homes damaged in D.C.
Fast-moving summer storms leaving a wake of damage across the district quickly. This was the view in Georgetown, a tree toppling over and landing on a house here on 28th Street Northwest. And not far away, a close call for this crew after a tree came down on this trailer here on P Street. Dramatic moments in Northeast Thursday. D.C. fire responding and a canine called in after a building collapse at 19th and 8th Street. Officials say no evidence anyone was trapped. And over on Capitol Hill, another car crushed on 9th Street Southeast.
I had my headphones in, I was making dinner. I saw the chairs on the porch moving, and I was like, oh, something's happening out there.
Aisha Sufi stunned when she looked out the window and saw this, a tree falling on her neighbor's home while she watched a YouTube video. The sidewalk on Connecticut Avenue Northwest near Jennifer Street blocked for hours while homeowners surveyed the damage.
Luckily, the way the wind was moving, the tree kind of fell on the other houses, so the lighter branches are on our roof, but nothing crazy. Thank God.
About a mile and a half away in Chevy Chase, Tennyson Street blocked off after a tree came down near 33rd. A neighbor snapping this pic of the flames. DC Fire says a tree took out a transformer and several lines. And while cleanup continues across the district, many residents anxious about the next few months.
My concern is certainly that they are also vulnerable to falling over during the next storm. And summer's coming. We have a lot of storms in the summer, so we really want to make sure that we're safe and that these trees aren't falling over.
That was News Force Walter Morris reporting. Meantime, check out this photo from one of our viewers, Scott Benson in Springfield, Virginia. He writes, quote, "You can't make this up. I spent the day putting together a trampoline for the kids. I was almost done when the storms were approaching, so I took a break." Look at that. Within 5 minutes, our willow tree came right down on top of it.
The weeping willow took it down.
Yeah.
That's weeping.
And it's a mess, too.
Yes, that's a lot of weeping.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So
My neighbors,
Yeah.
they had a tree come down on their home, unfortunately, and the home is not now able to be occupied.
Right.
They had cut the other tree that was even bigger down last week because they feared it was rotten, and so the other tree that was still up came
Horrible
down.
luck.
It's just been, unfortunate. So
Yeah,
But they're okay.
they're okay. Yeah, they're fine. Just having to deal with a lot of cleanup.
It was pretty scary for a while.
Yeah, it was, absolutely. We had temperatures that were well into the 90s. That heat and humidity fueled the storms that came ripping through, and we had winds upwards of 60, even 70 miles per hour in a few spots, and that's with saturated ground, brought all those trees in many locations across the region into power lines and into homes and cars, and we've seen all that video footage. Now, for today, we get a break, actually. We're going to see less humid conditions. It will be warm, but not hot. The heat's going to start tomorrow, and we're looking at a prolonged period, folks, starting tomorrow, of temperatures at or above 90 degrees, and that's going to continue into next week. We could be pushing triple-digit heat, actually, by Tuesday and Wednesday, and there is no rain in the forecast for the weekend. We are dry today, tomorrow, and for Sunday. That'll be a good thing. That'll allow us to start drying out here after the record amounts of rain that have fallen over the last several weeks. We've picked up well over 12 inches of rain since the first day of May. That's actually more than half of what we've seen for the entire year, just in a couple of days, actually. 68 degrees right now. We have a wind that is out of the west. The lower humidity values will continue, and we will see a very pleasant Friday across the DMV. And as I said, we're into the 50s right now in the western sections of the viewing area. No concerns weather-wise today, but tomorrow the heat's going to start. So we're going to climb through the 60s into the middle 80s by the afternoon. Sunset tonight coming up at 8:37. We'll have that 10-day forecast and look ahead to what you can do to help and prepare yourselves for the heat coming our way. All of that in just a bit.
All right, and we should obviously encourage folks to stay alert as we deal with the storm cleanup and an incoming heat wave. It's important to stay alert. Just download our free NBC Washington app to get push alerts for active weather near you. You'll also get access to things like Futurecast Radar.